Find out. What do we need to find out? Who are the volunteers in your community? Volunteering is not very common in Pakistan. Teachers are the ones who can find out who can be the volunteers. It is high time now that the students in Pakistan learn to be volunteers so that they develop an instinct to help people to participate in social activities without expecting a reward. The teachers need to find out the volunteers in the school at a very early age. From the primary section, the teachers can find out volunteers who can do things in the school, or maybe just the neighborhood, or maybe just in their house. For example, the teachers can introduce a project of making the child know that whether the mother and the father knows a particular language. So the teacher can select volunteers in the class and say, well, these children are going to go home and ask these words from the parents. Do they know the meaning of these words? So these children, they become volunteers of teaching a language to their parent. Some volunteers can be selected in the school to work for the environment of the school. So that means during the break time, when children are having lunch, these group of volunteers, they can go to each corner of the school and teach the people to throw the waste paper in the dustbin and to keep the school hygienically clean. They do not really have to do the task, they just have to go and train people. They just have to inform them that the children who are throwing these things need to learn that these have to be thrown in the dustbin. So all this volunteer work has to be introduced at a very early age in the school, and the students should know that volunteering would be very continuous during their school sessions. And at the end of the school, when they are leaving the school, they will be given a certificate for all the tasks that they have volunteered for. In the Western countries, these certificates have a lot of value when the students go to the universities and colleges. If they have a lot of things done as a volunteer, they do get a standing for that. And that helps them to get in a good university. So the teachers also need to introduce the same in the Pakistani context, where they would encourage the students to be doing volunteer work, and this volunteer work should be recorded in their reports, and ultimately when they leave the school, they should have a certificate of being a volunteer, and all the works that they have done should be added to that certificate, so that that will be sort of another incentive for those who are still in the school to work as a volunteer and then have a certificate at the end of the school. Which charity organizations are promoting education around you? This is also a task the teachers need to find out. They need to find out which are the charity organizations which are working on education. By finding them out, the teachers can join or at least get some information about that and then give suggestions or can do some of the activities in their own school and invite the people from the organization to do some charitable work in their school. Again, in the West, a lot of such practice is being done. The charity organizations are invited to the schools in order to do so many things like introducing a cooking session or introducing a project which is for cleanliness, and the charity organization provides dustbins for the school or provides some bags to collect the paper or the waste which is stored in the school.